Hi, nice to meet you. My name is Kim Riffel. I am CEO of PCN Latam, and I am here today for explaining you a little bit more about the activities handled by PCN in Brazil under the scope of telecommunication equipment. You will be informed about the approval flows that are applicable for several products, such as Wi-Fi and Bluetooth modules, mobile phones, and all equipment regulated and approved by Anatel in Brazil. Before getting in Anatel rules, I would like to fastly brief you about the general activities handled by PCN in Brazil. We are also an accredited certification body for household appliances, IT equipment, medical devices, and cookwares, which might be approved in front of safety, energy efficiency, and EMC requirements. The certificates issued by PCN in Brazil are recognized in several Latin American countries, such as Argentina, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, Panama, and Mexico. Also, we have specialists positioned in several technical committees in Inmetro and ABNT, which is the Brazilian Association of Technical Standards, our national standardization body. As part of the Administrative Council of ABRAC, the Brazilian Association of Conformity Assessment, we also participate in the Stakeholders Committee in the IAAC, which is the Inter-American Accreditation Cooperation, the ILAC, which is the International Laboratory Accreditation Cooperation, and the IAAF, which finally is the International Accreditation Forum. PCN also participates in the ICE Certification Management Committee, which is the controlling body of the successful international CB scheme. Finally, as it was previously commented, we are designated by Anatel for handling certification projects under this regulatory body scope. From now on, we will analyze details related to these approval flows, and after that, I will let you know my personal contacts and put myself available to provide any necessary clarification over these topics. The Anatel approval flow might be classified into 6 different steps. In the first step, the manufacturer or the applicant, which can also be a local importer, will let us know about the technical details of the product, submitting manuals, datasheets, and photos for the analysis of our technical team. In the step number 2, our technical team will analyze all submitted documentation and define which will be the test plan to be considered, what means the test standards that the products will have to attest compliance before being sold in the Brazilian market. In the step number 3, after being exactly defined for what technical standards the product has to comply, the applicant will send the samples for being tested in the laboratory. For Anatel certification projects, all the tests have to be done in Brazilian laboratories, excepted for rare exceptions. After getting all necessary samples from the applicant, the Brazilian laboratory will execute tests based on the test plan defined by PCN OCD. That will consist in the step number 4 of this process. In the step number 5, after being completed all tests, PCN OCD will analyze the test reports, but will also analyze several documents that will have to be provided by the applicant for getting the final certificate, as well as the authorization to sell these products in the Brazilian market. These documents are: number 1, a commercial representation letter. Number 2, external and internal photos of the product. Number 3, the user manual. Number 4, the ISO 9001 Quality Management System certificate issued for the factory site of the manufacturer, if necessary. Number 5, the social contract. And number 6, the CNPJ card of the local importer that will be responsible for selling the products in Brazilian market after getting this Anatel approval. In the final step, After being completed the 5 previous ones, PCN OCD will issue the certificate of conformity and submit it for Anatel homologation. After analyzing PCN OCD certificate as well as the other documents to be provided by the applicant, Anatel will issue a certificate of homologation, which is the last document in this approval process. The Anatel's certificate of homologation has the template being shown in the video, and it is the document based on the product got the authorization for being sold in the Brazilian market. Among the contents of this document, the applicant will get the approval number, the manufacturer's name, complete information of the product's specification and of the test results obtained in the Brazilian laboratories during the assessment period. Moving forward on Anatel rules, let's take a look on the regulatory structure of Brazilian telecommunications established by Anatel. In the base of this structure, we have all administrative acts that are intended to establish specific instructions, requirements, procedures, and standards related to the certification and homologation of products. These documents are full of details and establish in details which is the flow to be considered in an Anatel certification project, as we have just seen in the previous slides. In the second level of this structure, among less specific details, we have the resolution number 715 of 2019. This is the general rule of certification and approval of telecommunication products in Brazil. In the third and last level of this structure, we have the General Telecommunication Law, number 9472, which was signed by the President of the Republic in 1997. Which doesn't bring any specific detail as the base of this structure. The most common technical scopes in an Anatel certification project is electromagnetic compatibility, or EMC, represented by the Act number 1120 of 2018, electrical safety, represented by the Act number 950 of 2018, and requirements for restricted radiated equipment, represented by the Acts 14448 and the resolution of number 680, both from 2017, and the Act number 6506 from 2018. We will briefly analyze EMC test standards applicable in certification projects of Anatel in the Brazilian market. Most of the test standards are under the family of IEC 61000. CSPR standards are also applicable, as well as ITU-T standards related to its K series. EMC tests are classified in 3 groups in accordance with the Act Anatel 1120 of 2018. The first one refers to emission tests of electromagnetic disturbances. The second one refers to electromagnetic disturbance tests. The third and final one states tests of resistance to electromagnetic disturbances. Attesting compliance of a telecommunication product in front of the EMC test requirements established by the Anatel Act 1120 of 2018 demands 1 sample, and the tests are carried out during 7 working days. Moving forward on this presentation, we will briefly analyze electrical safety test standards applicable in certification projects of Anatel for the Brazilian market. International standards such as IEC and ITU was considered for establishing Brazilian safety requirements applicable for telecommunication products. ABNT standards locally developed were also considered. The assessment under safety requirements is executed based on several test items such as acoustic and electric shock protection, heating, and overvoltage. Attesting compliance of a telecommunication product in front of the safety test requirements established by the Anatel Act 950 demands one sample, and the tests are carried out during 5 working days. We will briefly analyze restricted radiation test standards applicable in certification projects of Anatel for the Brazilian market. Restricted radiation equipment is the title given to the ones that the emission of radiation on its normal frequency produces an electromagnetic field. The intensity of this field must comply with the limits established in technical standards and in the Anatel regulation. Products operating with technologies such as Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and Zigbee are classified under this group, as well as for products operating with NFC. If one product is embedded with more than one technology, each one of them has to be separately tested and assessed. In this figure, we are assuming one product operating with Wi-Fi, NFC, and Bluetooth features. All the assessment will have to be executed considering regulation and standard requirements related to each one of the features. Attesting compliance of a telecommunication product in front of the restricted radiation test standards established by the Anatel Acts 14488, 6506, and the Anatel Resolution 680 demands one sample already prepared for radio frequency assessment and one additional sample with continuous transmission. The manufacturer must also provide to the laboratory a software allowing the configuration of the transmission parameters, such as frequency, power, and modulations. It is not necessary to provide a sample with a radio frequency cable, because measurements of the field strength and spurious are carried out in a radiated way. If the product under assessment is portable and operates with an average power greater than 20 watts, in this case, SAR tests will be also applicable. SAR tests are stated by the Act 955, and it takes around 5 days to be completed. After analyzing Brazilian Anatel approval flows and technical requirements, I would like to thank on behalf of PCN Brazil for your attention. If you have any question, please do not hesitate in contacting our team, located in Asian countries and Brazil as well. We will be totally available to provide you with any necessary clarification and assistance. Thank you very much.